Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brad. It's Wednesday, which means it's brand new comic book day. New comics are hitting the shelves all across the world. Digitally, physically, it's like the best day of the week. Now, DC has hooked us up with one of their numerous releases this week. It's the Swamp Thing Winter Special. Kind of two stories, and most importantly, a tribute to Swamp Thing co-creator Len Wein, and then the legend artist Bernie Wrightson, both passed last year, 2017, and massive losses for the comic industry. Just to both of them, they're just beyond talented, and really have kind of a lot of the industry just has them to thank for so much. So let's actually talk about the main story before we get to the dedication, because the dedication is actually really, really neat. So the main story is by Tom King and Jason Fabok. It is a winter special. It's Swamp Thing versus winter. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's really fascinating. It's kind of like a psychological horror thing in many ways. Swamp Thing and a small child are being pursued by the winter monster. There's a great twist towards the end. It's really good. I mean, there's not much action. There's not much really that goes on. There's a lot of walking, enough walking that makes the Lord of the Rings get put to shame. It's good though. Like, it's very tense. I had no idea where it was going. Not really what I was expecting at all. It was very psychologically horror story, and I liked it a lot. And Tom King's a talented writer, so to expect him to do anything less is, I just don't expect it. So the art too is great. Like, basically it's the story of this winter's come. Swamp Thing has got this little kid that he's trying to protect, and throughout the story he's kind of like weakening because it's winter, and it doesn't have the green to help power him up, so he's slowly like shrinking, getting weaker and weaker as the story goes on. You can see him shrinking, his body shrinking. It's really fascinating. So the art tells the story as much as the writing. So overall, I love that. I think that it was really, really cool. Now, here's the thing that really stands out. So, as I said, Len passed away last year. Massive loss to the industry. Everyone was like super sad about it. He was supposed to be working on a Swamp Thing story, and I want to get this right, so I'm just going to read directly from it. So this is the second half of this is the final story without any text. So he passed away before he was able to complete the lettering for the script of the issue. Meant to be, it was the start of a first new series and a continuation of his miniseries Swamp Thing: The Dead Don't Sleep. So basically, he was supposed to do this with Kelley Jones on art, colored by Michelle Madsen, and it just didn't get finished. So instead of having someone else come in and try to work through the story themselves, they just DC's presented it without any words. Like, this straight up Swamp Thing, the script, the art, no text at all, which allows us, the reader, to kind of really focus on the art and the beauty of Len Wein's storytelling without the words. So I think that's actually really, really nice. There's also some dedications to Bernie Wrightson as well, who was the other co-creator of Swamp Thing, and whose art really kind of, I think, drove, just so much. If you've never seen Wrightson's art, like, go Google it. It's unreal, the amount of detail, quality. It's just like, yeah, it's kind of crazy in it. So this is a little pricey at $7.99. If you are a die-hard Bernie Wrightson fan, Swamp Thing fan, Len Wein fan, this is a must-get. The fact that it's got the Swamp Thing issue that without text, that it was basically his last work, at least for the Swamp Thing. I don't know if anything else is going to be coming out. That alone is worth checking out. I think it's really interesting to see the storytelling without the actual dialogue. And seeing someone's last work, there's something that you can get to reflect on how talented they are, how amazing they are. The Tom King story with Jason Fabok is fantastic. Like, that alone would be a fantastic one-shot. If it was like $3.99, $2.99 as a one-shot, I would say go get it just for that. So overall, like, this is a really good release. Obviously really pricey. I get it. And this is one that, for I think the die-hard comic fans, people who really appreciate the whole package, not just the storylines, but the combination of story and writing, the art, the coloring, all of it coming together, that complete package. Like, this is where it's at. I think it's a fantastic tribute to creators who really, revolutionized, changed the industry for the better. Len Wein, not just, and Bernie Wrightson, you know, not just creating Swamp Thing. Wrightson is an amazing artist on top of things. Len Wein has, you know, co-created Wolverine, for example. Tons of characters that to this day, I mean, just drive companies basically. So, you know, as a honor to both creators, I think is a solid get. You know, as I said, if you're a diehard comic fan, it's one to pick up. I think it's worth checking out. To be able to go and look at the story without words, his one of his last works without words, and see his storytelling in that sense, I think is really interesting, really touching, and really nice. I'm glad DC didn't go and try to get someone else to letter it, and they're just kind of like leaving it as is. So props for them for that. So this is out in comic shops today. We got some links that you can get it if you don't have a comic shop near you, but first and foremost, you should go and support your comic book shop. There's a link beneath this where you can put in your zip code, tell if your shop's near you. So only use those affiliate links if you don't have a shop near you, but you know, go support your shops. I do want to say DC Comics, thank them for hooking us up with this and all the reviews that we'll be going over today at the site. So you can go check that out at Graphic Policy. It's Wednesday, which means do our best to just do reviews. So that's it throughout the entire day. If you're into comics, if you're in DC Comics, if you're in Swamp Thing, Tom King, Jason Fabok, any comics in general, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and appreciate the great ones. Keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.